Welcome back, guys. A big shout out to John, my one and only subscriber. This one's for you, buddy. It's day 5 of the Mitre Station build. Hopefully today I'm going to get it finished, or at least as much as I possibly can. What I've got planned today is, it's great to have all of these drawers in there, but they look absolutely foul right now. I have to hide that Craig joinery because no respecting carpenter would ever leave any kind of Craig joint available to see. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a single, well actually 2 pieces of 3/4 inch or 19mm birch ply, and I am going to make a continuous run across the shelves so it looks like one piece of wood. Well, it will be one piece of wood, divided up, and it'll be a nice flow of the grain. So stick with me, let's see how we get on. So to start off with, what I'm doing now is ripping the sheets of plywood down to width. What I did is take the total height of the cabinet, and I'm going to cut down the plywood so that it is the same width as the height of the cabinet. What I'm also doing is a little bit crazy. I am ripping this using a track saw that's only 1,400 millimeters long, but I am ripping it without any clamps, and I'm just going to push the track saw along, as you can see now, and continue the cut. Now, it's a bit finicky, quite honestly, doing this. I wouldn't really recommend it. But if Festool think I'm paying €300 for a 3-meter long track, they have got another thing coming. I like your tools, but guys, come on. Let's not be stupid now. It's just a flat piece of aluminium. So this is my alternative way of doing it. It isn't perfect, but whatever, guys. You know, just doing my best. And so here's the second half of that cut. After a lot of lining up and making sure, is it okay? Is it? Yeah, it's all right. Is it? Yeah, you'll be all right. Go on. So off we go. Now, what's going to happen at the end, guys? Any guesses? Any guesses? Yeah, just keep going. It's a circular saw after all. No problem. Right, now that they're all the right width, I'm going to cut them to the actual width of the cabinet. So it's actually the right height, and now it's the right width. And I'm going to cut all of them so that I've got a nice view of what it's going to look like. Now, before I do that, what I decided would be a wise idea was just to very lightly with a pencil number each one of them so that I don't get mixed up later on, because I do tend to get a bit mixed up. So here I am just marking them all. If you can read them carefully, these are actually the winning lottery numbers for this weekend. So, you know, see if your zoom's working. And then once they're all labeled, I'll then just cut them all up and then line them up so that I can see what they're going to look like. We're still a little undecided here if that was in fact the winning number, so what should we do? Yeah, let's just change that number. That's the winning number now. This is the, yep, that's the theory of relativity. Perfect. Einstein's got nothing on me. Now, I don't mind telling you, I had a bit of a problem with the track saw getting these things parallel. I tried using a square and various other things, and in the end, it was just easiest just to measure out one end and then the other end, and then lay the track saw across and get it right the first time.
So I actually wasted an entire piece of 19-inch birch plywood in this process, which I'm going to pretend did not annoy me at all, but you all know the truth. Here they are, all lined up. It was a little frustrating because I actually needed more than 2 whole pieces. So I spent a bit of time working that out. Now here's a good trick for you. To make your spacing equal, take some cards and then decide how thick you want your space to be. In this case, I'm using the kerf of my track saw. Put as many playing cards in there as you can. And now you've got a great way to evenly measure the kerf on your saw. And then that way you can use it to make sure that all of the spaces in between the shelves are correct. Now on we go. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut out all of the drawers. What I decided to do is, rather than cut all 4 of the drawers in one column, because the festool table is a bit messy and it takes a while to set up, I decided what I'd actually do is cut all of the ones that were faces of it in one way. So I'm starting off with the largest drawer, which is the one on the bottom. And for any of you who are contemplating any kind of set of drawers, the largest one aesthetically should always be at the bottom, and then they should decrease in height as they go up. So what I did is take each of the pieces, cut the bottom one, and then I'm going to install all of the bottom ones, and then come back, measure the spacing, and then proceed up. Okay, so the pieces are now cut. I clamped a coil to the bottom of the cabinet to get me a level playing field, and then rested all of the shelves on the bottom. And here you can see a bit closer of that process. And now, well, there's just another angle of it because I'm a great photographer. Okay, here we go. Now we're actually gonna, I'm gonna show you how I attach them. Pretty technical. You very, very delicately put the glue on. Really make sure you spread it very, very evenly. Make sure there's not a single bit of it that isn't being covered, as I'm now going to demonstrate. Well, more or less, right? More or less. I mean, if you're having ketchup on your chips, that's how you do it. At the end of the day, the reason I can get away with that is because I'm actually going to nail it from the other side too. So this is kind of a double whammy. Just lining everything up, making sure it's flush with the end of the cabinet. And here comes the nailer. Okay, that's the first one done. What's the next thing to do? Well, I think it's probably time for a game of cards. Who wants to play Snip? No one? Okay, well, actually what I'm doing here, as I demonstrated before, I've chosen my thickness of the kerf that I want, and using those playing cards, I'm going to make sure that all of the drawer faces have the same gap between them. I actually decided to make the vertical gap slightly wider. I don't actually have a reason for that. I just decided it looked nice. So I added in 2 extra playing cards in the verticals, just to differentiate a little bit. It does take a little bit of while to get used to them, but it's a really, really good idea, guys. If you've never tried this, I saw it on another YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the genius who came up with it. But it's a great way to customize your spacing. And then once the first row is done, which is actually by far the most complicated, it's then a fairly simple process of taking the cards, placing them in between the shelves, and proceeding up the column. What I decided to do before I even cut the second row of shelves is I placed the cards underneath the uncut piece, measured where I wanted them to go, and then I cut the entire row of shelves based on that. Just taking these out because I can't get in there with a nailer if there are other shelves in there. And after a lot of faffing around, and I do mean a lot, here's the finished article. I'm pretty happy with it, I gotta say. The spacing looks good. It's very even. I did make 500,000 mistakes in this process, so it actually ended up taking me all day. I literally spent 7 hours doing it. But yeah, it's done. I'm happy. What do you think? Comment below.